I don't know if there's anything to this, but I do want to ask about David Miller's question. He says, in your opinion, is there a chance that wrestling could go back to the territory system? In my opinion, that's when wrestling was at its greatest. Is there anyone around now who you think would have been a leader in one of the territories?
I think Cody Rhodes has leadership skills. That's a tricky question. One thing, let me answer part A first. It'll never go back to territories where you're running 7 days a week, I don't think. I think if we can have the current number of companies that we have now, and if those guys will at least work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday where you're going to have an audience and then do your television wherever you're going to do it during the week, guys will get enough experience and they'll get enough reps that you'll start to see the work rate pick up. The mistakes will start to become smaller and less obvious. And I'm not knocking anybody's work or anything. The guys today and the ladies today do some of the most incredible things. I couldn't have even imagined when I was sitting down to put a match together in my head, some of the stuff they do today. It's just, the athletic part of it is just unbelievable. Just, it floors me. It's like, how do you ever even consider thinking up something like that? But I don't think it'll ever go to a full-time scenario like it was, because you got to remember, guys, our listeners, which could be ladies, I hope are listening. It was 7 days a week, week after week after week. There was no such thing as a day off in the 80s. Then we got to the 90s. WCW was a much more relaxed schedule. But back in the territory days, 7 days a week. I mean, I wrestled in 86, 335 days in 1986. That's not times, because Saturday was a double shot. Sunday was a double shot a lot of weeks. So you got to add those extra couple of matches in there. So what was part B of that?
Who would have been really, really strong in the developmental system? Like, not developmental, but territories. Like, what does Cesaro have excelled? You named Cody Rhodes. Is there somebody else?
Leadership? Now you're talking leadership, or you're talking about just what guy would have flourished during that time?
There you go. What guy would have flourished in the territory system?
I'm pretty sure a guy like Bobby Roode would have did well. For sure, a guy like Undertaker would have been your lead guy.
Top guy, yeah.
You know, Steve Austin, obviously, these would be guys that would be leading just like they did and like Taker continues to do. You know, they would be your figurehead of your company and they would be your go-to guy. This Hangman Page, a year from now, asked me the same question. I think this guy is getting better each week.
Interesting question from the goddamn Candyman. He writes in, did you ever have an offer to wrestle for the AWA? And do you have any great Greg Gagne stories?
Never was. Never considered going up there. They were kind of they were on the way out, to be honest with you. By the time we got rolling and I was with Crockett, AWA was on the way out. And I met Vern when we ran the co-op show, which I think was in the Meadowlands, and I couldn't tell you what year it was. But we ran a combined show with him. And Greg, of course, came down and was a agent for WCW for a while. I worked with him some down there in that capacity. But no, I never considered going up there, and no one ever came to me about going up there.
Of course, Greg would be a big part of WCW for a long time behind the scenes. Any interaction with Greg in WCW that is worth mentioning?
Just, we're kind of cut from the same cloth. It was, Greg, the difference was Greg was ownership. His dad owned the company, which I'm sure afforded him a lot of advantages. Never having to go anywhere is one. You don't have to leave when your dad owns the company. He was there for a long time, got established with their audience over a period of time. There was no interaction as far as any negatives with Greg. We kind of shared the same era in the business, even though he started before I did. So, I always got along fine with Greg. I never had any issues from working there before and feeling like I was taken advantage of as a talent or anything like that. So we had no issues.
Lee Parker writes in, Haku, bad news, Harley, bar fight, who wins?
I'm a firm believer, even as tough as Harley was, there ain't a man alive that when Ming was, 35 years old, I guess, he would probably kill an entire state of people. The whole state. And it wouldn't be Rhode Island. I'm talking about probably Texas, California, somebody. He's in a league of his own.